Hello, this is Dennis from China, and today we make review for ID UNYX, and this is very important car for Volkswagen, much more important than you could think from the first glance on it, because actually Volkswagen built up a new company for the production of exactly this car. Before we had two main electric models in China, such as ID.4X and ID.4 Cross. ID.4X was made in SAIC Volkswagen factory, or Dajong Shanti. It's a Shanghai brand, Shanghai joint venture between SAIC and Volkswagen, and the ID.4 Cross was built on the factory with FAW, Dajong Ichi. It's a joint venture between the FAW factory and Volkswagen. Both of them have like 50 and 50% of shares. But this is different history. This is the company which is called Volkswagen Anhui. It's a Volkswagen Anhui factory, and this is the only model built by this factory for today. Before this factory, and actually this company used to build another cars in cooperation with Volkswagen and GAC. They called Seoul or Seoul, it was different to pronounce, but as I understand, these cars now are not being produced. It was also like EV cars, and now Volkswagen owns 75% of the Volkswagen Anhui, and the rest 25% is owned by GAC. But actually Volkswagen owns 50% of the GAC company, which owns 25% of the Volkswagen Anhui. So it means that this ID UNYX is the most Volkswagen in China, because the most percentage of the company which produced this car is owned by actually Volkswagen. So today we have to analyze this car, and we will try to understand why this car entered the market and what is the mission of ID UNYX. Let's go. One more thing I forgot to mention in the introduction, that the Seat EV, I don't know the name, and Cupra Tavascan or something, whatever, which looks exactly the same, will be actually produced in China for export as well. And now we go to this particular car. For the advanced viewers and for those who like EV cars, and especially EV cars from Volkswagen, probably you all understand that this is basically ID.4, the same MEB platform, and the wheelbase here is same as ID.4 has. Well, actually it's 1 millimeter different, but we can say it's same. What are the differences here? We also have the rear-wheel drive version by default. It's like basic version, and it got the better motor than ID.4 in China. It got the motor from ID.4 updated version from European market. The power now is 231 horsepower compared to 204 horsepower in the old version, which is now produced in China of the ID.4. And this car became a little bit faster. The acceleration from 0 to 100 with single motor version is only 7.7 seconds, and the ID.4 in China needs more than 8 seconds. The current version of ID.4 Prime with four-wheel drive needs about 6.3 seconds to do the same. The battery here is same as an ID.4. It's CATL 811 NMC chemistry. Of course, it has liquid cooling and heating and so on. What I want to say by all this specification is that this car is basically the ID.4, but a little bit better in almost every detail. A little bit more powerful, a little bit better range, a little bit better software, which I will show you later, and so on. And at the same time, it is much more cheaper. Probably this was the idea of establishing a new company for selling the ID series, because they could not do the ID.4 much cheaper, because the actually debut of this car was a little bit spoiled with high prices and bad sales in China, and they are now trying to do the second chance for their MEB platform in China. Let's talk about equipment and the versions of this car in Chinese market. We have three of them. The basic version is called Pro, and here it is the single motor version. After that comes the Ultra version with also single motor like that one. And here we have the top version, which is called Max. It's a four-wheel drive version, and we are lucky enough today to have two cars of different versions. So I will show you the equipment based on the top car, which is not included in the other versions. Here we have the 360 cameras, which is not included in the basic Pro version, but included in the Ultra version by default. All the versions have the adaptive cruise control system. Probably radar is right here with the millimeter ultrasonic wave radars and so on, with the blind spot monitoring system, and this is of course very good, and it should be by default in 2024 as in many other Chinese brands. Here we have the 21-inch wheels, and the tire specification for all the versions is exactly the same as in the ID.4. The width of the tires is not the same. The rear tires are more wide The tires are exactly the same as the ID4, and it is special model made for ID series. It's a Goodyear efficient grip, but it has the sealant inside of the tires, so these are the self-repair tires. I must say the quality of these tires are amazingly good because I've used them for many thousand kilometers. They are very soft and very durable, wear resistant. Here we have the same wheels, the same tires, but the wheels are 20-inch, which are for the basic and middle versions, where you cannot add the 21-inch wheels even for extra money. Now let's go to the trunk, because here I also want to show that all the versions have the electric trunk with automatic opening, with induction opening and position memory. As we are now near the trunk, let me show you. We have 535 liters. It is by the numbers is a little bigger than in ID4, which has 512, but from my experience, from my view, it's actually the same trunk. Here we have quite good finishing, quite good material, same as in ID4, and maybe here the plastic and here the rubbers even a little bit better. The quality of production here, very nice. I really admire it. Here we have the subwoofer system of the Harman Kardon audio, which is by default in medium and top version. And as you know, the Harman Kardon in ID4 is actually the same from Golf or something like that. Basically, it's far not high-end, far not premium sound, but better than the standard audio system. And by the way, some small differences from ID4, like this sound installation screen, which is not presented in ID4 or ID6, has been added. Here we have the folding rear seats. Here we have the door for skis or something, and the sizes of this trunk I will show you in the infography right now. This is something I'm very happy to find in the basic version. It is IQ Light Matrix headlight, which is, in my opinion, is one of the best headlights on the market, and it's included by default in all the versions, including this Pro Basic version. Under the hood, this is basically ID4. Almost all the parts are exactly the same. We also can add the CO2 package. It's like winter package for this car, which will add the heat pump, air conditioner system, which will add the heated windshield, which will add the heated nozzles of the windshield washer, and this costs about 1,500 USD, same as in ID4 in China. And I think because this car is actually cheaper than ID4, this is quite acceptable. I like how everything is done here. It's basically same quality as ID4, but here we have some sealant problems, which looks not very beautiful, but maybe it's a pre-production car or the first batches of production, and I don't want to make a big problem from this. Generally, everything looks nice. All the versions have this massive non-openable sunroof. The openable sunroof cannot be added here, as it could be added in ID4 for some extra 150 USD. This is the charging port taken from ID4 as well, and we have totally same voltage of the battery, 352 volts, so it's an old 400 volt platform. I must say that this car has the same carb weight as ID4. It's about 2,166 kilos for the single motor version and about 2,250 kilos for the double motor version. The whole body is made of steel, and it has the galvanized zinc coating, including the hood, including everything, and of course the crate of the body inside. It also has the zinc coating, as you see from my paint device. I would like to ask my viewers if you like the design of this car, because I personally like how all these fenders go into the tail light. I think the design is quite nice, and pay attention to this color. This is the gray color with some brown metallic notes here, right here. Very beautiful. All the rest interesting features are in the interior, and we start from the basic version, from the Pro version. This is the only version which have the mainly textile interior with just some faux leather inserts. I like this material, I like this design of the seats with these plastic inserts, and I think this is a very practical, nice quality textile. Yet at the same time it feels quite cheap. These seats in the basic version do not have the heating, but they have the massage and memory. All the versions have massage and memory, and all the versions except the basic one have heating. By the way, the steering wheel have heating in all the versions as well, and it's covered with a faux leather at the same time as well. Here we have the wireless charger for mobile phone. I assume it's more powerful than an ID4, because here we have even the cooling of this charging place. Here we have the ambient lighting, also in all the versions, 64 colors, and I really like how it's performed. Looks nice. We are now in ID4 Max version with 4-wheel drive, but the medium version Ultra will look exactly the same. Here we have the HUD, it's taken from the ID7. Here we have the switches under steering wheel, also taken from RD7. This small screen, the cluster gauge, is taken from ID4, but I think a little bit updated because the graphics looks more beautiful. Here we have the different design of all this panel, but ergonomy is totally same as in ID4 and it's perfect. I really like this ergonomy. The material is very nice. This is kind of Alcantara. Here we have the ambient lighting in these small holes on the door cards made directly in the Alcantara. But the most important and basically the only one serious change is the new screen, which is 15.6 inches, and finally the ID series got the big screen, but unfortunately the responsiveness of it is really not good. As for 2024, sometimes you have to wait for about 1 minute or something. Maybe now I cannot show. You see, like here, like loading, somewhere you have like this, like 2 seconds of loading or something. Yeah, probably it's possible to deal with, but compared to the new cars like Zeekr, like Xiaopeng and all these cars, this is totally bad. We have the English system by default from factory. All these icons, they became smaller than in ID4, which is not so convenient. But we have the fine working CarPlay, which is a wireless CarPlay, and most of the users who have iPhone, they just drive this car using their CarPlay. Here we have the glove box. Here under the screen we have the LED line, which may change color and show you the charging, the discharging and some other things. So basically it is a little bit more modern and more up to date compared to ID4. The second row is exactly same as in ID4, and I think it's a good achievement because they made the coupe style body, but the space over my head is exactly same as in ID4, and I'm 178 centimeters. I have a convenient armrest. I have very beautiful ambient lighting in the door card. I have this tweeter from Harman Kardon audio system. No more entertainment here. No, not have the climate control, the third zone climate control, as it was in ID4 Cross Prime, but it wasn't in ID4 X Prime. We have the 2 ports for charging, we have the flat floor, and basically it's a nice second row. Now let's talk about suspension and ground clearance. In the front we have 196 millimeters of ground clearance. Suspension is completely from ID4. It's a McPherson strut, and it's very huge lower suspension arm. Here we have the exchangeable ball bearing. And everything looks nice, and I think it's no need to change because it's very durable suspension with nice handling, judging from the ID4. And look at this turning angle of the wheel, it's truly amazing, the best in the market. Here we have ground clearance, which even a little bit better than in the front part of the car. It will be around 200 millimeters. You see 203 millimeters, very nice protection of the battery. And one interesting thing which I noticed, that here we have some locks, a lot of locks, and I think it is for anti-rust protection probably. I have no other ideas. Rear suspension is a multi-link suspension taken from ID4 as well. Here we have the manufacturing date on this control arm. Suspension is massive, very durable, very nice. Now we have the test drive car, and it's the Ultra version, so it means the maximum version with single motor. And let's check out how this car drives, especially compared to ID4, which I've driven many times in my life. We are now driving the ID UNYX. It is a single motor version of ID UNYX. Here we have the chance to check the acceleration, and it's very slow car. Generally it's same slow as the ID4. The acceleration from 0 to 100 is about 8 seconds. Here they claim to be 7.8 or something. In ID4 it was 8.3, I think, but I don't feel any difference, to be honest. At any speed, at acceleration from 0, at acceleration from 50, it's totally same car. The only changes they made from ID4 are some minor changes, such as the light steering cluster. It's changed a little bit from sensor to normal switch, and for me it's more convenient. Of course the new screen is much better, but we have already seen it in ID7, same as these switches under the steering wheel. The HUD is also taken from ID7, and compared to the old version of ID4, it has a little bit better design, and it also shows the consumption. By the way, about the consumption, let me show you the actual consumption of this car. This car has only 335 kilometers kilometers done for whole life of this car, and the average consumption we have here is 25.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and actually it's a huge consumption. I don't know why it's so huge, because in normal ID4 with one motor you can easily do 18 in the city without any problems, even when the weather is quite hot. But maybe this car was standing in one place with AC turned on for quite a long time. We have here the wireless charger, and it's a really fast wireless charger, and finally ID4 has it, because I added about 3 to 4% in just about 6 to 7 minutes. It has also cooling, and it's finally good place, because ID4 Cross made in China had wireless charger somewhere there like that, totally not convenient. Here we have the niche for cables, and it also surprised me, quite smart solution and probably convenient. One thing which surprised me is the V-shape of the windshield here in the upper part. First I didn't recognize it, but after I saw it, then already I could not forget that it's like that, and started to looking at it too many times. In terms of ergonomy, in terms of car feeling, in terms of adjustment of the brakes, suspension, motor, steering, it is totally same car as ID4, which is being produced in China for already 4 years, because it started production in the end of 2020. Ergonomy is perfect. You feel the car very nice. You have huge mirrors. You have a very low position of the seat if you want it, and you can also have it high, and also you have the different adjustment of the front and rear part of the seat cushion, which is very important option for me. I really think it's very important for good position at the steering wheel. The only thing I currently don't understand, you see, this is the problem again. I have this problem with wireless charging of my phone. Actually, I had it from beginning, now I have again. I don't know why, sometimes it's just not working. Maybe it's a problem of this particular car, but it's not problem of my phone, because it's not even hot. And the only thing I don't understand is the massage, because ID4 doesn't have good massage. It's just a slight massage of lumbar, but here I feel it's even less intensive. How you could do it less intensive, it's a surprise for me. Yet I think it's less intensive than in ID4. For those who haven't driven ID4, it's very nice car, basically a perfect adjustment of suspension as for me, and it's still, this adjustment gives you enough of comfort, and it gives you a possibility of very, very nice steering. Basically, this car is very nice in steering, in my opinion. Also, you have sufficient power, even in single motor version. Yeah, it's a slow car, but you have sufficient power in the city, no problem. And also, it is very, very good maneuvering car, because it has extremely nice turning angle of the front wheels. It's one of the best in the market, in the whole world. ID4 is one of the best. Sometimes when you drive this car, the four-wheel drive has a little bit worse turning radius, a little bit bigger, but when I drive the single motor version of ID4, I sometimes feel like I'm driving the forklift. It's really amazing in which parts it could do the U-turn, no problem at all. And I think the bumps on the road, it feels like it goes a little bit better because of sound insulation, because basically I hear that the suspension adjustment, I feel that suspension adjustment is totally same. So for some reason Volkswagen decided to reinvent ID4 on the Chinese market. This is the same ID4 in a little bit different packaging. And actually I like this car. It's nice, it has good quality, it has good handling, it has quite good range, it has matrix headlight, one of my favorite. It has some kind of massage, and it has practical interior and practical trunk. But the problem is, when you compare this car to its competitors in the Chinese market for approximately same price, like BYD Line 07 or for example Xiaopeng G6, this car is far behind. This car doesn't have really powerful versions. For today, dual motor 340 horsepower is actually not serious. BYD Line 07 has 530 horsepower. This car doesn't have seat ventilation, which is extremely important for Chinese market, and in Chinese market, where actually half of the country is in tropical area, some cheap cars for 10,000, for 12,000 USD, they have seat ventilation. I don't know why they didn't do it here. They didn't change the sound system, which is really not good. This Harman Kardon audio with 12 speakers is basically not good, to be honest, and the basic audio system is even worse. Also, they don't have any premium solutions in suspension. Also, the steering here is very nice. The handling of the car is very nice, in my opinion. And also they don't have, for example, V2L or a good multimedia system with powerful chips like Snapdragon or Orin X for the autopilot system, like for example Xiaopeng G6 have. So probably for Chinese market this car will be a marketing failure, and probably same as ID.4, it will be popular car for export with huge discounts. Please subscribe to my channel and ask me any questions in the comment, or ask which car you want me to make a video next time. My name is Dennis and I really love cars.